in SSL for one of the best of threes at least.
Yeah. Here's Dark. Everybody was looking towards this guy to smack around a lot of players. He took some big losses. He lost to Zest in an ace match of last season, or rather of last round, and that was one big loss that he took. He's still got 5 wins. He comes out nearly every single time for SK Telecom, and one of the strongest Zergs in the world right now.
Definitely up there. I'd have to say he's top 3. I think it'd have to be Life, Rogue, and Dark. Yeah, these 3 guys are making it happen still in an age where there isn't that many Zerg victories, there isn't that many top Zergs compared to the other races. And here is one of the most dangerous Protosses, I guess, in career. He's definitely by far one of the cheesiest.
Yeah.
I guess you could say he's the Shine of Protoss or something like that.
Yeah, I guess so. You know, he will just pretty much, he would, like, you know, Immortal all in your mom, I guess. Kind of like Shine would 6-4 your mom. This guy, he has all of his wins against Zerg. As you see there, he's 3-2. He has 3 losses elsewhere, 2 against Terran, 1 against Protoss. So this guy, like in that Zerg matchup, I guess, he is above 50% so far here in 2015. And let's see what he can cook up today. Well, guys, let's jump into game number 2. It's going to be here Dark versus MyuNgSiK on our new map, Expedition Lost. Let's jump into that game right now. After some predictions. We have our Monday caster, the only person that voted for MyuNgSiK. Pretty interesting there. Yeah,
I don't know about that. Seeing we have a little bit of time before we jump right in. Dark qualified for IM World Finals, defeating Sand, Parting, MyuNgSiK, and SOS. Go!
Into the game. Let's do it. Game number 2, Dark versus MyuNgSiK. Down here in the bottom left, in the orange for SK Telecom T1, the Zerg player, it is Dark.
And up here in the top right, we do have MyuNgSiK.
And Moonlade, you were about to say something really long right before we jumped into the game.
Well, I spammed it out, but I can go over it again.
Why don't you go over that again?
Well, Dark qualified for IM, the upcoming IM, and he defeated the Protosses. Sorry, let me have a quick look again. He defeated San, defeated Parting, MyuNgSiK, and SOS. Clearly in a good place against Protoss right now.
Yeah, man, and especially against MyuNgSiK as well. We saw he is 4-0 so far. That little stat coming up on screen. I think that's going to extend to 5-0. As long as Dark doesn't drop the ball or get too greedy, he should be totally fine.
That's it, man. It's kind of the danger zone when it's a best of 1 on a map like this, Expedition Lost. You know, look where that 3rd and 4th are. They're a little bit out there, especially that 3rd base. It is going to be sort of like the bottom middle sort of base that he will take that as the 3rd base. And it's a little bit of a wonky place to defend from. It does have a little ramp to the right. And force fields will do a lot of work at that base if we do see MyuNgSiK go for it. And I reckon he probably would. Ooh, look at this, an early gas.
What do you think about this? I mean, it's almost definitely going to be speedlings. What do you think the idea is behind this? Just playing it safe versus MyuNgSiK, or you think he's going to put on the pressure?
I think it's a pretty safe idea. This map is still pretty good for Protoss to kind of wall off if they want that natural, and we actually are seeing MyuNgSiK wall off the top of his ramp as well. So he should be fine against speedlings at any time. I reckon it's a pretty safe idea as well. It's going to give him map control very early on. It's going to make MyuNgSiK kind of change up his build a little bit, apply a lot of pressure to him so he can't comfortably go to that, maybe that 2-base timing attack that he desires to go against a Zerg such as Dark. A lot of things come into play, but we'll have to wait and see exactly how Dark is going to open up this after the speed. Because it's kind of like I guess, a little bit of a Life-inspired opening. Dare I say, Life would be more of the Zerg to go this kind of build.
Yeah, Life would be happy if he's watching. He's like, Dark, he's taking notes. We see no expansion just yet. He's going to go for 4 Lings and a Queen first, and then he's going to put down the expansion. So pretty late here on 21.
This is
like the way of things.
Yeah, this is like a build you do at the start of Wings of Liberty, man. This is like old school sort of stuff.
Yeah.
He can apply a lot of pressure, and it kind of forces MyuNgSiK to go for this kind of style, which we are seeing now with an early Zealot, a later Nexus, and now he's walling off with the Cybercore and Forge. Something we just normally wouldn't see in this day and age.
First four lanes coming up here. Going to get to work on the Cybernetics core. But with 2 Zealots, he should be fine. I mean, you could just send one over there. 1 Zealot is going to do just fine against 4 lanes. Going to force him back. No damage will be done. And both players will move on with their lives. And into the mid-game here.
That's right. I'm going to complete map control for Dark at this point. He just had those 4 links out. He's going to be scouting everywhere he can, looking for any sort of sneaky play that MyuNgSiK might have cooked up.
Yes. That's the name of the game against MyuNgSiK. You just got to play safe. And still no third base. You know, we sometimes see players with the map control that they game with this, with the safety that they have of the units that are pretty early comparatively, as to compared to if you just got your hatchery first. So you do see sometimes a quicker third base. Try to get that economy going after you went for a bit of a, you know, safer army build. But so far, no third base here for Dark.
Yeah, not just yet. Still deciding to stay as it is. He actually isn't even getting speedlings at this point. He, I guess, because the scout went off, he decided to hold on to that 100 gas. Could have sort of apply pressure in the mind of MyuNgSiK. He's like, well, there's going to be speed soon. I just can't do anything. He's going to realize now, actually, with that Mothership Core scouting, that, oh, you don't have speed. Okay, so you decided to pocket that 100 gas instead. And is going for a very quick lair over this.
See what he decides to go for. MyuNgSiK, he puts down a robotics facility, and because that is MyuNgSiK, you know, especially with the sentries coming out here as well, I think the chance of an Immortal all-in did just get a bit higher. You know, we sometimes see Protoss players liking to go with Stargate openings, try to take a safer third base with some Oracles, but not MyuNgSiK here. Let's see how many gates he adds, too. That's going to be the next tell.
Yeah, well, we are seeing the Roach Warren go down finally, though it is a little bit late for my liking. The lair is going to finish before the Roach Warren, so his approach speed will be a little bit later. We are seeing an Evolution Chamber behind this as well. No third base just yet, so finally he's going to be adding it now, but it's a bit of a weird timing. And I think if he did go Immortals, it would be a great idea. I think it'd be a perfect sort of response to what we see from Dark so far.
Well, we do see that Warp Prism coming out here. Could just be a Warp Prism first and then Immortals, but MyuNgSiK going for a Stargate here as well. Maybe just wants to put on the pressure with the Warp Prism drop and then go for a third base with some Oracles or something.
Yeah, it's kind of a hard one to say. We have seen him, like add Void Rays in the past as well and go for like a Void Ray all-in with a lot of Gateway units. But he is delayed it, so it's really just a massive mind game from both sides at this point. Both of them trying to figure out exactly what each other are doing, feeling each other out. Obviously, a 2-base sort of Roach opening with fast Roach speed and Burrow and +1 range is going to do well against most openings we would see from a 2-base Protoss, except for maybe an Immortal all-in.
We see one Stalker in the Warp Prism. Is this really just for clearing up creep? Where's that Observer?
I'm not even sure what this is about, man.
I don't know about this, man. Like,
this is like what happens to MyuNgSiK's brain when like you kind of do something unusual as Zerg. He's like, well, I guess I have to go for my one Stalker drop. It's like he just
this
breaks.
Is the only rational response. I don't know what to do.
This is like what the team came up with. It's like, well, we figured out how to break MyuNgSiK. Just do something random as hell, and his mind will
go
break.
For the one Stalker drop.
His mind will break, and then you just play your normal game.
Yeah, it looks like this does have a point. It looks like this is mainly just for clearing up creep. So, I mean, it's not just random here. It seems. Well, I don't know how effective it's going to be, especially with Roaches out on the map here.
Yeah.
But
I mean, we are seeing. I mean, yeah. I guess it has its point. It's going to apply pressure. We're always going to see like Zerg units going to have to hover around the main and natural to avoid any sort of damage from that Stalker and possible other units getting warped in. Whoa,
oh, man.
That even got. I don't know if that should have actually got cancelled as well.
I don't think he had to cancel that.
No way. That's only 4 Roaches. He could have tanked the damage until that Void Ray came up and wiped everything out. We are seeing actually Colossus Void Ray. So that is also a bit of a classic sort of composition we do see from Protoss, and does create a pretty decent death ball when you get those numbers up. Getting there is the question. He could be burrowing these. He should be. There we go. Oh wait, he actually has protection. Never mind.
Yeah, Observer is around.
Oh, yeah.
And one sentry did get popped, so looks like 3 roaches trading for a sentry. And 11 hydras coming in here, as well as hive.
So, yeah, I think it's going to be Vipers from here. I think it has to be Vipers. As we see third base taking a little bit of damage from these Zealots and Stalker. Warp Prism finally finding its place.
Will get picked up and fly away. Do have that Tunneling Claws upgrade going to finish here. And we may see, like you were saying, Vipers with a big swell of roaches and hydras try to just go for the kill. Oh man, this is going to go down.
Not
That's
a bad
expensive.
choice. Yeah, that is an expensive one. And it really removes the pressure off the map as well. It's like, well, that Warp Prism went down. My 4th is going to be safe. I don't have to worry about Zealot drops in the main natural 3rd now. I can move out in the map. We are seeing more roaches move across just to apply some pressure, I think. He's not really going to find anything. He's going to run to some Colossus instead. And look how late the third base is for MyuNgSiK as well. Like, it is pretty delayed. About the same timing as the 4th base from Dark.
Yeah, the 4th base that, in fact, is not scouted just yet, so he has no idea. But he may be able to assume. I mean, Dark's pretty much been safe on a side of the map, outside of that one Warp Prism that really didn't do much. And he's had all the time in the world to just build up so much tech and just so much crap. Like that 4th base coming up here as well. This harass is going to come down. There is one cannon, but Simple Micro will be able to save that roach, and he's just going to back off after getting a pylon.
Decent pressure applied as we do see those Vipers being made. A lot of roaches as well, so we are going to see Dark try and hit before too much is out for MyuNgSiK. And he should do. I mean, we see 3 Colossus, a bunch of Zealots, and not much else as a buffer. So this is going to be a big problem. We did see the Templar Archives finish up. So he can warp in if he has gas. And he can afford a couple, which he probably should get, but I don't think he knows exactly what we see Dark going for, or what he sees Dark going for. Let me have a quick look at these observers. All right, he knows it's going to be a hive. He knows it's a hive. So he should be preparing himself. He should be adding some Templar to this mix.
Yeah, let's see if he actually goes for that. He does have some time here before Dark does go for the attack. Right now, he's just adding gates and going for some upgrades. You see the blink on the way. He's only got 4 Stalkers just now, but he's probably going to make a huge swell of Stalkers. But I think Dark here, he wants to go for the attack before MyuNgSiK even gets that chance.
Ooh, very smiley. Starts warping in some Templar and also kills the rocks for a moment at least before he decides to keep going. Ooh, and look at this back door. But there is sentries there already.
Yeah. A couple of sentries will not do the trick as the roaches are going to burrow underneath and kill both of them. Here comes the attack. 1 pull on the Colossus. Pretty good time warp here. The feedbacks, though, they finally go down, and no further pulls will happen, but this back door is still wide open.
Yeah, it is wide open now. The sentries got picked off by a couple of burrowed roaches. And yeah, I mean, all the buffer for these Colossi have essentially gone at this point. There's only a few Stalkers and a couple of Void Rays. And so long as Dark picks a good fight, he should be able to just crush it.
Yeah, he's going to have so much room in that main base as well to just spread out here. He wants to fight with his entire army, though. He's losing a bunch of his Hydras and Roaches here in the front to the Colossi.
I think he's going to lose this army after all. He did actually get a good feedback on the Vipers. So the one Viper that had 200 energy ended up doing absolutely nothing. But while this is all happening, the main has been routed. There's 21 probes gone down. There's no mining there whatsoever.
Yeah, and Dark is totally fine. I mean, even if he lost everything, he still has 4 bases. He's already remaxed. Hydras and Roaches coming out here, +3 on the way. And we saw MyuNgSiK talking to himself in the booth. He's not happy. And I don't see how you could be happy in this situation. That 3rd base was just way too late, and he kind of just like, I don't know, let Dark do whatever he wanted to. I mean, the one Warp Prism drop with the Stalker didn't really do any damage.
Well, I mean, there's always opportunity for the Protoss to deal with that kind of army and that kind of attack with good feedback and positioning. And we did see MyuNgSiK get out of position very easily because of those backdoor rocks. He couldn't seal it off forever because the Roaches had burrowed. So essentially, it's just he kind of just got out of position to the point where he took too much damage in the main. And look at that main. It's only got like 5 probes there as we see another engagement right now.
Nice feedback coming in here. Not the best position for Dark, but he's just got so much stuff. 2 of these Colossi are going to go down. He's going to back off here. A lot of Stalkers in the mix now with Blink, so those Vipers not going to have the greatest time. The feedbacks were good as well. And Dark now trying to pull MyuNgSiK out of position here, it looks like. Do see a greater Spire on the way, so Dark has kind of that next step here, even if this attack doesn't kill MyuNgSiK.
I love this transition so much because, I mean, there is only 2 Void Rays in the air, and if you have Broodlords and a lot of Hydras, you just camp under the Broodlords with those Hydras, so the Void Rays can't get anything done, and it's just simply too much damage, and it really puts Protoss in even more of an awkward position. Great follow-up, and it is a scary army to deal with regardless. I mean, Void Ray Colossi is hard to deal with. It's not easy for Zerg at all. As we see Dark, you know, he keeps running into it, and slowly but truly we are seeing MyuNgSiK catch up in supply.
Yeah.
He's only 50, like 40, 50 away at this point, and he also has cornered a large part of Dark's army in the top left.
Yeah, it looks like Dark is just going to spread out here and try to go for the attack. He's going to lose everything, and actually a pretty good trade for MyuNgSiK. He is going for some nice harass damage in the main base with a bunch of roaches, though, that are not really being cleaned up at this moment in time. Just one Colossus here shooting at some of those roaches.
Still dealing with all the probes in the main, which is going to help out. Obviously, you want to stop the gas as much as you can for Protoss, especially if they're on free base. They're really desperate for that gas if they're making Colossus and Void Ray. Now the Broodlords have begun. 4 on the way, 3 more Corruptors. And now you just kind of have to make a buffering army for them, and they will do the damage needed to clean up the rest of this army.
Yeah, we saw a huge amount of larva that was not being spent by Dark there. He had the bank to do it. He finally does go for a big swell of roaches as well as some Hydras in the mix. And that's going to be a good buffer for these Broodlords in the back. Also a couple of Vipers for the pulls.
Yeah, I would even argue he might use Blinding Cloud this time. It would not be a bad idea against this.
Oh yeah, that might actually be better. Especially with all of these Stalkers, Jesus Christ.
Yeah, if they try to blink forward and focus down the Broodlords, you just Blinding Cloud them and they're just helpless, essentially. And here we go, there's a Blinding Cloud, one abduct as well, and whoa, that blink forward is insanely suicidal as we see everything get eliminated. When you have Broodlords like this, you cannot be taking those kind of fights unless you're going to be blinking under the Broodlords, which he was not.
Yeah, MyuNgSiK, he knows he made a huge mistake there. GG is called, and another Prime player will fall. Dark takes the win, and will push SK Telecom T1 into a 2-0 victory.
Yeah, a bit of a ruthless beatdown there. A clinic on how to kind of go about the Vipers against that composition into a later game with the Broodlords. Very, very powerful sort of compositions there, and it's all about the tech switches as well against Protoss. You have to force them into an awkward position and then switch it up and apply the killing blow.
Yeah, Dark, he kind of made it look easy. I think MyuNgSiK should have just stuck to the cheese, man. I don't know.
Yeah,
to
well,
be perfectly honest.
His mind kind of broke after that Speedling opening, which was not actually Speedling at all. It was a delayed sort of lair, and I think it really played with his mind a bit. And then he went for that Stalker drop to deal with a little bit of creep and apply pressure on the map, which is fine, but it wasn't much of a follow-up. The third was a little bit too late.
Oh yeah, man. That third finally came down at like 12:30. That's way too late.
Yeah, he's taking it hard, man. He's taking it hard.
I don't know why he's taking it this hard. I mean, he didn't have the greatest game. I guess that's it. Maybe he just feels he made a lot of mistakes, but his opponent was Dark. It's like number 2 Zerg in the world, number 3 Zerg, This guy is not someone you're easily going to be able to beat. And I feel like MyuNgSiK should just take a bit of a lesson from that game. Just be like, okay, here's what I did wrong. Here's what I got to do. I should learn from this game because I'm playing one of the best players in the world.
Well, you know what? I guess it's just maybe MyuNgSiK put in a lot of time for this, and he thought he definitely had a good chance against it. I mean, you're practicing your heart out for one best of one a week, essentially. So it does crush your soul a little bit. I'm certain of that.
Well, he is certainly still taking it hard. Let's hope he cheers up a little bit later on, tries to forget the game. We're going to go into game number 3. It's going to be Sue versus Yoda as ZVT. We're having all kinds of different matchups here today, Moonglade.
We are indeed, and this one should be very exciting. It's always exciting to see Sue these days because he had such a hard time at the end of last year, and then he kind of disappeared for a little while. But he's been popping up in round 1 just now and then. He's been doing very well against Terrans. So I don't know. I just love to see Sue do well, and I hope he does well in this next match. We need him back.
Yeah, we do need him back. The Zerg force needs him in our life. Guys, we're going to go to a 3-minute break first, though, so we'll be right back with some more games. Stay tuned.